Mixtape Addict. Mr. Addict, you bitch, I've been grinding.
It's King Flow Mixtape Addict Report Shortkut Edition International Winners bitch. And today I'm with the homie ROB GIANO. What's up, man? How you doing?
Happening, Juke? How you doing, brother?
Listen, I'm a mess, restless and the freshest. Dressed better than the West on the crescent. Rat-a-tat-tat upon the breast of the headless. Smoothest threat sledges from the chest of an empress. Darkness being enveloped. Set up, pretend enlightened, then represent, get the hell up. If you'd make up solutions to use instead of excuses, your movement would be kinetic, electrical with the fuses. Pull a trigger, pull a card and paw. You ain't God. Nah, these nail scars are killers. You acting like your life is a model. Christian, imagine that. If only you could stop the system.
Let me ask you, bro, the first question, the Mixtape Addict question. Who's your all-time favorite DJ?
Ooh, all-time favorite, man. Whew. You know what? I'm gonna to make it easier on myself, I'm gonna go back to when I was like always like trying to hit up the spots to get mixtapes, and that was when DJ Ron G and Doo-Wop were doing their thing, man. So I'll go with DJ Ron G.
I gotta do the intro. Yes, indeed, New York City, around the world, it's the Mix King, Ron G. You already know what it is. Wow. Superstar J, my homie, be doing it real big right now.
I'm top notch. I got props. I get paid while your brain hopscotch. Watch. Look at the clock. Ticky top. Niggas get mad when you get off my jock.
That was when, like, that's like 93, 94 time frame, man, where cats were just like, even the more popular cats and the underground cats, there wasn't so much of a degree of separation. And so the DJs, the mixtape DJs, they were really giving you like the new shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you were really getting like the newness like on the street every week or every couple of weeks or whatnot, and then everybody's fiending trying to get the mixtapes, you know what I mean? So that was when it was dope, man. Ron G. There's a lot of other cats, obviously, man.
Yeah. Ron G is definitely a legend, man. OG in the game.
Yeah, no doubt.
At one point, he was the youngest DJ in charge. You know, one thing I like about those tapes back in the day is like you can get popular artists on the tape, but also dudes from the underground. So that gives you motivation, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In music.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like at that time, like the degree of separation between the cats who were on like about to make like what we would consider top 40 music, pop music or whatever, and the cats who are underground.
And do you have a favorite mixtape in mind that you can mention that you remember from back in the days?
Man, what was the joint called, yo? Man, I can't remember the joint. I just remember that they had his, J. Rue the Damager and Shaheem were on the joint. I just remember that, man. And it's crazy because now if you go on like Mixcloud, you could probably find those joints, man. I cannot remember the name of it, man. I can't, but
yeah, one thing that's fire right now is that you can actually go on YouTube and find the old mixtape from back in the day. The whole thing, like an hour and 20 minutes.
So yo, there's this one DJ, female DJ, Lazy K.
Oh hell yeah!
She had like the butter mixing Rican.
Mixtape Queen Lazy K, take this. To all my niggas from Charlotte, I got your
I'm on beat, and Cherry Keys. I forever be on some thug shit, running wild through New York City, busting guns, rocking jewels to shine like the sun. Stapleton is where I'm from.
Whatever, yo, those shits were fire, and I was able to find that on YouTube. Like there's this one track, I can't remember the name of the artist, but there was this song that was like called Bulletproof Ninja. That shit was so ill. I spent like a year or 2 years trying to find that song, and I finally like jumped on YouTube, and I was like, yo, I remember it was on the Butter Mix and Rican joint. I think it was part 2 or some joint like that, and I found that shit. That joint had Judas Theory on there. It had it had Capone and Noriega, right? When they released War Report, they had this joint called Illegal Life, right, with Havoc on the hook.
You either make it or you take it. If the game's in you, dedicated stage. Yo, I was in Ramada, laid up with Gold Saga, Jungle Room, cowboy hat around June. Managa had the 45th Draga, Capone and Noriega, the saga.
But back then there was a version of it that me and my man, we used to dig like the more underground versions of the song. So there's one that got released for the album, same lyrics and everything, but the beat was harder on this mixed version. So the beat would switch up. It was like instead of the beat being like da-dum, it was da-dum. It was just, I don't know, it was just, that joint was so ill, man. Anyways, that mixtape was ill too. So shout out to I don't know what in the world Lazy K is doing these days, but
she's still doing mixtapes right now.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
She's still doing tapes. She got I think she got a radio show. Yeah, she working.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
You know, shout out to Lazy K, because she put it down for the ladies. She, especially in the mixtape game, and she showed the guys that she was serious about her craft.
Yeah, that was a good time, man. That was dope.
Let me ask you a few questions about yourself, bro. So, what's your story? Where you come from, and how did you get into hip hop?
All right, so the short version, my family migrated here from Panama, and then they moved to New York City. And my uncles, two particular uncles that I had, were like 11 and 14 years old. They were DJs. They had like turntables, everything set up in the basement of the house. So when I would go over there, I would just like kick it with them. And one of my uncles was in a hip hop group at the time. And those cats, I would hear at least him. I don't really remember his voice, but I remember him, like he would rhyme all the time. He would freestyle, because he never wrote anything down. He would just freestyle all the shit. And I had to be 6, you know what I'm saying, at that time, right? This is in New York City, Hollis, Queens, right? So a piece to Run DMC and that whole era, right? So they were heavily influenced by that time. And so hearing them, and then they put me on to a lot of music, because when you're a kid, you're impressionable, so everything, sometimes music it makes sense, but sometimes it didn't. At 6 years old, I was just like, everything kind of sounded good. But it just felt like,
wanted to get into that that thing, that hip hop thing that you're surrounded with, man.
Hearing them, and then they would tell stories, man. I mean, one of my uncles would tell me like that they went to this show and the Juice Crew was performing. And one of the things that made them, like, everybody was dope, right? Shout out to the Juice Crew. But 2 things. One, we lived in Queens, and so there was this affinity with Queens Bridge. So when the bridge came out, you know what I'm saying, that shit was fire. And so I remember my uncle talking about, those times, right? What's crazy is that when The Bridge Is Over came out, man, that's the song. I can't think of another song that you hate to love. If you're from Queens, from Queens, man,
you're right.
Because that shit's fire. Anyways, so what happened was he was telling a story about Juice Crew, and 2 of them in particular. One, he was over, I think he went, I don't know if he was in the Bronx or he was somewhere, and he went to the Bronx singing The Bridge. And so obviously in that time, you do shit like that, he ended up getting scrapped. You know what I'm saying? He was like, he ended up throwing hands with the dudes who were there. I don't know, that appealed to me. And then he said there was a time he went to a Juice Crew show, and at the end there was this big brawl that went outside. And instead of, he said a lot of people were trying to bounce, but instead of bouncing, a lot of the members, particularly Kool G Rap, stayed, and he was like fighting in the crowd with the rest of the dudes. So there was a level of respect that he had for Kool G Rap and a lot of those cats. So anyways, that became my thing, man. During that time, high school, we started battling. Everybody was rhyming, so we were battling in school and just making our own little mixtapes, going into like service merchandise, using their equipment to like make shit or whatever in the world. And it just went from there. And then like somewhere out of high school into about college time frame, I just was like, yo, I want to release a project. And so I did, you know what I'm saying? And it just kind of went from there, then just releasing different projects and touring them and meeting people and just broadening my horizons, man. It just ended up evolving. So anyways, I've released like several projects since 2006. Up until this year, man, just released a project. So that is
the new project, Scarlet Letters, right?
Scarlet Letters, that's it, brother.
And I'm not just human. Injustice of other humans says I'm not just human. I am Afro-Latino, I am Indian, Jewish, I am a Native American, Hindu, Buddhist, different yet the same. Differences make a name, inference is a shame, stereotypical claims. That's something that the factory lines cannot manufacture, cause character's a fabric of time. I'd rather take a factor of primes and multiply them to create a new accurate design.
And,
That
that
shit
one's
right here
definitely-
fire.
I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, this joint's been some years in the making. I've released other projects while I was slowly working on this one.
What's the recipe to build a strong project like yours from start to finish? Do you surround yourself with different beat makers? What do you do? Like, you know what I'm saying? What's your secret, bro?
The music is definitely the vibe, right? There are a lot of songs that I rejected for this project. I mean, I guess that's kind of typically how it goes if it doesn't fit the vibe. So certain songs that didn't fit the vibe, they fit something else. Like in 2016, I released this project with my man Sinuous called Dope Laboration.
You seeing me with a stroke, I provoke, meaning I'm dope with the quotes, leaving you fiending but never leaving you broke. And I ain't no joke, I know the ledge, bonafide, check the melody, uploaded rhymes over the edge. I'm past the margin line, justice for the marginalized, calm and devise, not divisive, left on sparking your minds, come on.
And a lot of songs that he made all the beats for those joints ended up there, and they didn't end up on this project because it just flowed better on that project. So that's the first part. The other part is just having what I want to say. And a lot of times, man, just the lyrics and experiences and just kind of knowing what feels right in the moment. And then the third part I would say is just influence, man. I like a lot of music, man. Sade is actually my favorite artist of all time. And so I mean, listening to new hip hop, obviously listening to hip hop that I grew up on.
That's what I like about the projects. Like you got, you know, different vibes that you can hear. You've been influenced in your life by, you know, many different, you know, music genres, like you was about to say. And you say Sade, but do you have other influences, like even like a different music genre or hip hop?
I like classical music, but
okay.
I like R&B music. But then there's also, I mean, there's so many different types of hip hop music, man. So I'm influenced by when I listen to so I like Mos Def, and I like how the inflection in his voice. I mean, he's telling a lot of good stories. Like one joint that's constantly on my mind is Auditorium.
Then the sun busts through the cloud to clearly remind them it's everywhere. Penthouse, pavement, the curb, cradle to the grave, talk of each of a show. Universal ghetto life, holla black, you know it well what it is. You know, they know what it is. We know, y'all know what it is. Ecstatic, there it is.
Let me ask you something about storytelling. Do you think that this particular type of rap is you know, going away? It's not in the game anymore, do you think, or we got a bright future ahead of us?
Nah, man. I think people I think the go-tos for that type of stuff, you see people like J. Cole, you know, Kendrick Lamar. These are cats who are telling, like, really those. Cole made a whole album that was like telling a particular story. The For Your Eyes Only joint, that joint was, all those joints are ill, man. I think that if there's anything that's going to remain when it comes to hip hop, is going to be storytelling. I mean, there's always the partying, there's always the rah shit, but you're always gonna have people who have good stories to tell, because people are living life, man. And as long as there's talented people, every generation has dope lyricists, you're always gonna get that, man. So I definitely think that's not going away.
Okay. You know,
Yeah.
the same way. Yeah, let me ask you then, who's the best storyteller of all time?
Ooh.
That's a hard question right there.
Best storyteller of all time, man.
Because you have also good storytellers from the West, right? Like talking about some pimp shit, like
man,
Too Short,
you're right. And
Sugar
it's
Free,
crazy.
Snoop Dogg.
I'm fresh up out my coma. I got my mama and my daddy and my homies in my corner. It's gonna take a miracle, they say, for me to walk again and talk again. But anyway.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg, man. Shoot, man, Bismarck he used to tell funny stories, man. But yo, those just were stories nonetheless. I don't know, man. I mean, the quintessential is always Slick Rick. I think he, in most of his songs, is telling a story. So I think that's like the direction that people immediately see. But man, you know, Ras Kass, man, when you look at like the nature of the threat, that song's like 7 minutes long, yo, but that shit's incredible. Like
December 25th, the birth of Saturn, a homosexual god. I checked the historical pattern. December 25th, and I thought the birth of Christ was Saturnalia. When men got drunk, fucked each other, then beat their wife. Fact is, it was still practice till they called it Christmas. So put a gerbil on your Christmas list.
Soul on Ice, that's one of my favorite all-time albums, man. Soul on Ice is one of my favorite all-time albums, and that dude is incredible, man.
He's a cool guy too, man. Ras Kass is always open to work with him.
Oh yeah, you made something for him, right? You got to work with him, right?
Yeah, I did a track. It was a joint with Torre and OC.
My pink game Mensa, Spencer. I shove rappers out of the way to get dinner. These niggas so thirsty trying to be great and winners. There's only one Kardashian left. Caitlyn Jenner.
Yo, OC, man. Oh man, yo.
Legend too, right?
yeah. Torre too, man. These cats. That's what's up, man.
I'll send you the joint. I'm gonna drop an interview with him too. I got a interview with him coming soon.
Word, son.
And he's always down to help. He got a group too. It's called JMO Gang. It's pretty dope what he's doing.
Oh, word.
And I said it the first time. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Like a Biz Marquee song. Is this thing on? I battle Godzilla and dish King Kong. Then pull out a handgun that's 6 feet long.
Yo, let me ask you a question about entrepreneur, right? Because when you're in the hip hop game and you're independent like yourself and me, you know what I'm saying? You gotta find ways to keep the money coming. You feel me?
Yeah.
So what do you do for your music? Do you do merchandising? Do you do shows? Tell the people what you do in terms of business with your music.
Yeah, man. Well, shoot. So for me, it's crazy because I work for a living, and so there was a time where I was touring heavily, like in the 2000s. Like the late 2000s and the early 2010s, and during that time I toured like extensively all of the projects that I had doing it. I think that performing is definitely, it's important. I mean, I know 2020 kind of killed a lot of people. Even this project would have probably come out last year. But it's like touring, because you know, meeting people, I would say like that's probably been the most gratifying aspect of the music, man, is going out there, performing in front of people, and then meeting them after the shows, talking with them. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Like it broadens the horizons. Also, you could tell like what songs hit and what don't, and then you know you get the lesson learned for the next project to be like, yo, I want to get a song, and when I go into this crowd, I want to be able to rock this crowd. So I think touring is on point. I was a one time when I was really heavy into merchandise. I don't have a lot of merchandise now.
Who's the hip hop entrepreneur that influenced you the most?
Influenced the most?
Yeah. Me personally, for example, it's Nipsey Hussle.
Fuck living basic, I'm taking risks. Fuck what they saying, I'm saying this. Don't waste your time, it don't make you rich, it don't mean nothing, so fuck them, let's make a grip.
Yeah, he's an inspiration, man. We see this guy, man, selling his album for $100, I think it was.
100, and then another one for 1,000.
Yeah. That's what's up. That's when you know you got confidence in your product and people are supporting it. Yeah. So that's dope. I would say for me, as far as entrepreneurs are concerned, I was really influenced by Rockefeller's story. I know that there's, Jay, Dame, and Biggs, like all three of them doing their thing, but the story of them getting rejected and then turning that shit into like what they became, I think that's highly inspiring, man, because these are cats who were doing it on their own. And to be honest, man, even though it's not my brand of hip-hop, I dig Soulja Boy's story.
I don't give a fuck if I make $1 billion today. When I leave here, I'm gonna find out how to make another $1 billion, my nigga, because I don't never want to go back to the hood and be broke and go back to that life I used to live.
The model that he had, man, and he set a lot of trends. So I think that's very respectful. And he's obviously younger than I am, but I respect that grind and that hustle, man. Too. I think that's dope. Yeah.
So he was one of the few at the beginning with the ringtones business. Hey, yo, we was talking about your album, and you told me that you make your own beats too. You produce after the album. So
yeah.
If you could go to a studio right now and pick 2 producers to come with you, Who we choose?
There's Preem, there's Pete Rock. Oh my goodness, man. Yo, oh man. What do you call it? Nick Wiz is one of my favorite producers.
I'm what you call a block trooper. Love to rip a looper. Better watch a girl before I swoop her. Cause sleepers will be the goners when I puff the marijuanas in my pajamas in the morning after yawning, yo, I'm born.
So Nick Wiz is one of them. I'm gonna just say that right there, man.
Thank you for saying his name. You know, he deserves it, man.
Yeah, very much so, man. You know what though? I'm gonna say, if I was going in right now, I'd also say, so I'm in VA, right? And there's not that many degrees of separation between me and this guy, man. So even though you got Pharrell here and you also got Timbaland from here, I'm gonna say Bink, man.
Okay.
Yeah, Bink. Cause this cat, you know, he's made classic material. He still makes dope music. And I'm gonna ride for VA on that one, yo. So I say Nick Wiz, and Bink. And obviously, you know what sound that is. It's not gonna be a commercial sounding album.
So yo, if you had 3 words to define yourself as an artist, what would you say, bro?
3 words, man. Introspective. You know, I don't be on the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I try to be real about, like, I try not to be a hypocrite, at least, man. So yeah, introspective, real, as basic as that sounds, real, and authentic, you know. Yeah, so introspective, real, and authentic. I mean, that real and authentic might be sort of the same thing, but
it's funny we can discuss that, the difference between real and authentic. Tell people where they can reach you on social media and, you know, grab your music online, show everything.
Man, yeah. So Rob Gianno, at Rob Gianno, I think that's Instagram. That's definitely like Facebook, or Gianno PNG. The letters PNG altogether. Gianno PNG. There's an EDM artist named Gianno as well. So that's why I used to be just Gianno, but then I changed my name to Rob Gianno musically, just to separate from that guy. He makes cool music and stuff like that, but a lot of times people will be like, yo, I heard this song. Is that you? I'm like, nah, not me, man. So yeah, Rob Gianno on all the handles, and then Gianno PNG. Like if you're looking at SoundCloud or whatever, if you look up Gianno PNG, you can find me on there.
Okay, that's what's up. And I highly recommend that everybody that's watching right now go listen to the album, you know, Scarlet Letters by Rob Gianno.
A vicious cycle, we try, convince each other that wise. Human nature, we blind. You're telling me the whites, the prison system and violence, get his brothers the right to kill each other, we blind. The fellas be talking about that ass when she pass by. Then we talk about that ass when we smash raw. Then we hang up on that ass when she calls back. Talking she pregnant, now we gon' get a passport. Now I'm a
Scarlet Letters, man, it just came out last month, June of 2021. I mean, I think it's fire, you know what I'm saying? But I think that it's a very dope listen from beginning to end. You got 12 tracks, and those tracks I think take you on a nice journey. So it's dope. Yeah,
feels like a movie. It's gonna bring you to a voyage. And do you have any last words for the Mixtape Patty people that's been watching the interview until the end? You know,
if you stayed to the end of this interview, I appreciate you. I know that, you know, sometimes things don't last for like 2 minutes or less or whatever, kind of get passed over. So if you've been here for this whole interview, or you rock with Rob Gianno, or the music that I've made this whole time, I appreciate you. And even, you know, Mixtape Addict, man, for the ongoing fans and the current fans, man, continue to support that hip hop all around the world. A lot of the producers that I've worked with, I've never met in person. These are cats all over the world, man. Different continents, different time zones or whatever. And so just keep doing it, man. I appreciate you and outlets like you, man, giving brothers like me an opportunity to be able to say something that, you know, goes down in history, man. People can view this video, man, years after it's out. So appreciate you, fam.
Thank you for the kind words, man. Mixtape Addict is nothing without the great artists that we work with. You know what I mean? So keep working, bro. Keep releasing that dope music that we fuck with. You know what I'm saying? That real shit. And I can't wait to hear the next project, bro. But thank you for your time, Rob. You know, it was a pleasure, man. Real nice discussion.
Likewise, brother.
Two hip hop heads. You know what I'm saying? From France to the US, Virginia to be exact.
That's
International. What's up. Yeah. Thanks, my guy. Much success to you.
Brother.
Much love, bro.
Peace and love, man.